LG drags the OLED brand with things like 5% near black vertical lines and blue lines and dead pixels being the norm. They're basically a poor man's OLED at the most premium of prices. And to trick the public, LG hires social media influencers to help sell their dodgy OLED experience to large bodies of unsuspecting consumers. HDTV Test, Artings.com, and Digital Trends being amongst the most notorious. If that wasn't bad enough, they have the most toxic community of any brand, so if you have any problems, there are people that will simply attack you for sharing your experiences because you didn't walk on LG's little eggshells that they laid out for you, and honestly speaking, they could be great if it weren't for this. Now, let's talk about my experiences, right? Some of you guys may know I got burn-in on my LG C8 within just 1 week. I then got the E8 and I liked it until I saw it get beat by the Hisense H9F. It got beaten badly, might I add, and honestly, it was kind of embarrassing for me. So, of course, I start investigating things like burn-in complaints because that's like the biggest thing with OLED, right? And every complaint of burn-in I've received in my inbox and seen in person at a client's home or at a retail store has been about LG OLED. Literally exclusively LG OLED with I think I had one message, guys, like literally one of a Sony A1E back in the day. And that's literally it. Everything recent, everything besides, that one A1E has been about LG OLED. And then it occurred to me, LG is the weak link dragging the OLED name because you just don't hear about burn-in on other brands like you do with LG. Yet year after year, LG is touted around as the best. Just go get it, period. And honestly, this has a lot to do with their toxic group of fans, their toxic group of reporters looking to collect sponsorships, and it's really hard to find honest information on what the LG experience is because so many people get suppressed. Honestly, I can safely say anytime I do a video on LG, period, my videos in general just get buried at the bottom of the search query because it's not the same glowing, shilling, selling out kind of thing that everybody really likes to see on YouTube. And that's sad because there's a lot of room for LG to improve, but the problem we have with LG now is that they're being told their cup is full and they don't need any more room for improvement. And if your cup's already full, you can't learn anything, right? But the problem is LG has stagnant water. You need to dump it out and refresh that water because, your cup's full, but it ain't full of the right stuff. And I feel like if they could take some of their criticisms and feedbacks from people like me who give honest, open, and welcome encouragement to them to grow their brand, I think that they could actually be a competitor. But simply put, if you compare any LG TV, let's break away from OLED, right? I'm an OLED hater, right? I just hate to hate. Let's look at every brand, seriously. Any nanocell TV, compare it to any quantum dot TV, the nanocell will lose, even though it's using quantum dots. You compare any OLED in the States to any LG, and I'm telling you right now, LG will lose. And it's been this way for years. And it's just mind-boggling that when LG is the world supplier, you'd think that they would have a better handle on burn-in, but they're the ones that are most at risk, where every other brand is kind of doing just fine with managing burn-in. So it's definitely a weird thing, and I know there are a lot of people that like to justify bad investments. Misery loves company, right? But I think if you value your time and your experience, just buy another brand until LG starts taking complaints from consumers seriously and stops hiring people to cover up what they do wrong, because honestly, it's that behavior that drags OLED, because it starts to make you think that all OLEDs are bad, all OLEDs will get burn-in, all OLEDs are just going to be washed out for color. They can't do reds properly. And I got to admit, I was one of those people after my experiences with the numerous amounts of LG that I've encountered. I thought, you know what? LG can't get any better. And then I listened to one of my calibrator friends. I listened to my wife, and I got the Sony OLED. And I tell you what, I did great. I lucked out. I got a great experience that I'm so glad that I have now, and it's fantastic. And honestly speaking, guys, that's kind of what helps me understand even more as time goes on and technology changes that OLED might not be such a bad technology. I think it's just the manufacturer of LG being the problem. So I'm very curious to see how Vizio does and other people do with the same technology. And if they beat LG, then that kind of 100% confirms what I'm thinking right now. And that's that, again, LG really is just a weak link. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say down below. And please provide your experiences with LG. Try to reserve the fanboyism. I know there are a lot of people that will say LG is the best, period, or the best TV of 2020, period. But let's try to have a healthy and open conversation and maybe try to move this dialogue further into the stages of maybe LG listening and improving the things you truly don't like about your LG OLED experience. Thanks so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty, guys. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.